and welcome to week 14, and this week we're going to be going over elevator speeches. So what is an elevator speech? It's pretty much a clear little commercial about yourself that communicates who you are, what you're looking for, and how you can benefit a company, an organization, or even selling a service or a product. It's about 30 to 60 seconds long, or usually the time it takes for people to ride from the top to the bottom of an elevator, hence the name elevator speech. You can also use this commercial or pitch at networking events, job fairs, career expos, on LinkedIn or job interviews, anything that sort of thing. It's a great way to gain confidence in introducing yourself to hiring managers and company representatives. And quickly you can speak to someone and say what you're all about because it's in a 30 to second time frame. So an elevator speech and outline, kind of what it is, it's who you are. So always introducing yourself, saying which company you work for if you work for a company. What do you do? Always be friendly, outgoing, positive, smile. What do you offer? So what problems do you solve for your clients? What are your solutions? And give an example. What are your differentiators? So why would someone want you versus someone else? Maybe you're a realtor, right? Ton of realtors out there. So what makes you different? What makes you special? What makes your service better than hiring another realtor? What is the advantages of working with you compared to somebody else? How are you different from your competitor? So how do you work? And give an example. If you have time, you can tell a quick story, but you may not have time to actually do that. Always have a call to action. So at the end of your speech, do you want a business card, a referral, an additional one-on-one? Maybe it's to grab coffee afterwards or speak more after a networking event. So how do you write an elevator speech? Even though you're speaking this speech first, it's always good to kind of write it down. So step one, just write down what comes to mind. You can always clean it up later. So whatever comes to your mind first, put it on paper or type it out. Step two, cut the jargon and the details. Make strong, short, and powerful sentences. Eliminate unnecessary words. Step three, connect the phrases to each other. Your elevator speech should flow naturally and smoothly. You don't want to be rushing through it, and you don't want to be stumbling through it either. Step four, memorizing your key points and practice, practice, practice. So you can practice in front of a mirror, you can practice videotaping yourself, saying in front of family, friends, actually going to networking events and practicing. When I was a member of the San Marcos Chamber of Commerce, I used to go to all the networking events, and I saw a difference with some of the new people who had horrible elevator speeches in the beginning, and then a few months later, you actually saw a big improvement because those people practiced. I also saw people who didn't have any improvements. Step five, have you really answered the key question of your listener? So what's in it for me, right? Step six, create different versions for different business situations of your elevator speech. So you could have one specific for networking events, one for your career fair or job fairs. Because the networking events, you're more meeting people, whereas career fair or job interview, you're more looking to get a job. So you might have different key points in those elevator speeches. So some basic tips on creating your elevator speech. Always keep it short. 30 seconds should be plenty. Especially if you're at a networking event and you're meeting multiple people, you want to keep it short and sweet so you can tell as many people as you can. You don't want to drag on. You don't want to bore people. You don't want to lose their attention. So always short, which could be harder than you think, talking, for only 30 seconds. Always start and end with your full name and occupation. So for me, with my business, I always introduce myself. Hello, I'm Isabella Janovic with Janovic Communications. I say my elevator speech, and then I end with, again, my name is Isabella Janovic with Janovic Communications. Because after you say your 30-second speech, you want to make sure those people, if they didn't catch your name or company name in the beginning, they have a second chance to catch that. Spark interest to your listener. Share your skills, differentiators, and your goals, and know your audience. So I have two great examples here. You guys will actually get a real kick out of the bad elevator speech. So here's an example of a good elevator speech, YouTube, so watch that. And then I have an example of a bad elevator speech, and this one's pretty funny. You guys got to watch that too. So we're going to be getting into groups here to go over the 3 elevator speech activities. So I have created the groups for you, and I have groups of 3 people. You can contact these people just how you did for the other group assignment in Cougar Courses with all the contact information. If you have trouble getting hold of a group member, please email me again like last time, and we'll get that straightened out for you. So the first exercise, and we're going to be doing these elevator speech kind of in baby steps, and we'll work our way up. So the first one, here's the scenario. You're at a coffee networking event with the San Marcos Chamber of Commerce. Attendees range from chamber members, small business members, small business owners, and nonprofits. There are about 30 people in the room, and everyone is sitting in chairs in a circle. Each attendee will be given 30 seconds to introduce themselves and give their elevator speech. And this is how it really is. At these chamber events, you usually get in a circle and you're all sitting around, and each person gets 30 seconds to pitch their commercial to everyone in the room. And the average is about 30 people. Sometimes there might be, 15 or so, but get used to having 30 people there. Sounds like a lot, but the more you practice, the more comfortable it'll become, and it'll just get easier with time. So within your group, discuss what to include in your elevator speech. Take some notes and make some bullet points. What skills, differentiators, and or goals do you want to include? What do you want people in the room to know about you? Remember, these are small business owners, chamber members, and nonprofits. So these could be possible employers. Maybe you're looking for an internship while you're a senior at Cal State San Marcos. So you introduce yourself as that in your elevator speech. Practice going over your elevator speech with your group members and take 2 turns each. You do not have to videotape this part, but you will be doing it on Zoom with your group, but you don't have to videotape this section. Or record. I always say videotape. You can tell I'm older. So once you do exercise 1, you're going to move on to exercise 2. And here's the different scenario. So now you know your elevator speech and can speak in front of 30 people. The following week, you attend a business mixer put on by the city of San Marcos. There are about 50 attendees mingling around, ranging from city council members, small business owners, and representatives from large businesses. Everyone is wearing name tags with their name and occupation. A gentleman named Brick from Watkins Wellness with the title Finance Director introduces himself to you and asks, what do you do? Again, this is a real life scenario. Different cities will put on mixers for the city council members, small business owners, and people from large businesses such as, Hunter Industries, Viasat, or in this case, Watkins Wellness. There really is a person named Brick who works at Watkins Wellness with the title Finance Director. So, know your audience. Do you change your previous elevator speech to speak to this person? Or do you keep it the same from what you said at the chamber, at the coffee mixer? What do you want this person to know about you? Maybe you could care less about finance and you really don't talk to this person that much. Or maybe you care a lot about finance and you're like, whoa, I want to get to know this guy and build a relationship with him so that I could get a job here pretty soon, right? Or maybe you're thinking, I'm not into finance, but this guy's a director level at Watkins Wellness. I'm sure he knows directors of other departments. Perhaps he knows the director of marketing at Watkins Wellness. So think about these different type of things. So with your group members, again, take 2 turns each going over your elevator speech. You do not have to record exercise 2. So exercise 3. This exercise you will record via Zoom and upload to YouTube. So you only need to record exercise 3. Please visit week 15 on how to turn in this assignment. So this elevator speech, these slides are on week 14, and then week 15 is how to turn in the assignment. And because the maintenance was down this last weekend, I am giving you 1 more extra day to turn in this assignment. A couple weeks later, so here's the scenario. A couple weeks later, you go to a networking breakfast put on by the Business Builders Network at the Broken Yoke. This is a more intimate networking group with all small business owners. So that's your audience. You arrive early and there are only 4 other people there. You all start talking in a small group and a lady asks your name and what do you do? Again, real life scenario, there is a networking group called the Business Builders Network and they do meet for breakfast at the Broken Yoke. And usually if you get there early, there's a few people there and they do networking until the majority of the group gets there. So, what do you want this group to know about you? Remember, they're all small business owners in the area. With your group, take 2 turns each going over your elevator speech. Again, exercise 3 needs to be recorded. And then you'll go to week 15 on how to turn in the assignment. And then since you have your elevator speech completely down after these 3 exercises, you'll be completely prepared for your elevator speech presentation, which is due on finals week. If you have not already booked a time slot to do that live with me via Zoom, please do that. You'll need to do that by December 3rd. So you guys still have plenty of time to pick a time slot. It looks like pretty much everyone has, though. I know at finals week you probably need to schedule things in advance. So have fun with this. And if you have any issues meeting up with your group, please email me, and have a great week.